One maybe subjectively funny thing came to my mind. May I share it? Like a couple of weeks ago, Andreas Müller came to Finland, and they have been no like live meetings for a long time, and we were like wondering, like, what is this when there is this ultimate relaxation and liberation, and what is like but it just came to mind that when you are so relaxed, then you don't anymore have to go to toilet, that you can just pee in your pants. But that was funny in the moment, but it's not funny when you tell it.
You went for it anyway. Well done, you.
Yeah.
You have to go for it. You have to go for it.
Yeah. I'm not liberated yet, so I have to use bathroom still.
Yeah. Thanks for that, Mika. Yeah. There is no liberation. It's liberation from liberation, and the image held of what that might be. This is liberation, and it's no one's.
Hey, Frank.
Hiya.
Can you hear me well?
Yeah, perfectly, yeah.
Okay. The other day I thought about hearing. Hearing is just the functioning of the body. That's body hears automatically. There's nobody there who hears anything. It's just a functioning. But again, I come to a point where I say I have to hear it in the right way. I have to hear it on on a different level, something is not understand, or I did not get the message, or it's not processed in the right way. But in the end, there is no really sharing. There's not really hearing. There is no transformation or transmission of information, because there's no information in here. Those meetings.
Mm.
There's and probably you could see something about it.
Well, there isn't even a thing called hearing that's a
Yeah.
part, but that's as good, you know, it's just a word. Yeah, nothing needs to be understood. And it is also appears as the wanting to understand it or hear it right. That would be then just happening. Oh, I need to hear it right. But it repeatedly then seems to just return to that the nothing needs to be understood. It's not about understanding. There's nothing to impart at all, nothing to explain at all, and that it won't be had or held on to, because it's immediately as that question, it's immediately as whatever is. And so then what's the reaction then to that? What's the reaction to just the suddenness? Well, whatever the reaction appears to be then. And that's, you could say, is the relaxation, but the relaxation could also be tension. That would be what is. You can't do tension or not do tension. It's everything, everything, everything. And so the reaction might be laughter, might be going, all right, and whatever, nothing, no reaction whatsoever. Because it's not a having. It doesn't have to be remembered. It won't be, it's not something that can be forgotten, because it's not anything at all.
As I recognize that it get somehow received as a kind of information, and I have to do something with it, or I have to understand it. That's completely illusion.
Yeah, but there's nothing you can do about that in a way.
Yeah.
You know, that's just, you know, how it can appear to be. It's the 99.9999999% of interactions are about somebody who knows imparting something to somebody who doesn't know, and that they can get some information, extract something, and so that it's useful. So there's nothing here at all that's useful. And yet the mind could then, you know, it keeps coming back to, yeah, but it must, come on. And in the end, really, when nothing is offered and that sequence thing happens continuously in subtle ways or whatever ways, it can be exposed, which for just seeking nothing. And all then is it just a dis-ease, a movement towards trying to get nothing.
Yeah.
And that's just what's happening. And it kind of just can. It's exactly, amazingly, it's exactly, inescapably, intimately, whatever reaction to these words. It's as the reaction, as what do you mean? Or but, or fuck off, or whatever would be that reaction, would be this. And that's where it's kind of it's so intimately inescapable that everything is used to being apart from, you know, the world. My hands are apart from me, sounds are apart from me, everything is apart from me. And it's all just this hell sort of story to make this somewhat, I don't know, real. And then it's not like that there isn't, you know, an unreal behind the real. There's just this. There's just this. And then if there's a story, then, but, oh, I kind of need to get this, then that's just how it is. You're not doing that.
Yeah.
And then there isn't a kind of, you know, there's an idea of that when there is no self, then all will be revealed to be shiny, new, whole and complete, and I will know to be that, and I'll be finally have wisdom. but you're
Yeah.
not in there. Like,
Because it's already clear that I did not hear. And also the process of getting information, it's not my doing. That happens. It's just what's happened. It's somehow clear, more or less. But I see in the end that there's still a tension there. And
but there
But-
also might be the image then that tension is not this, that it can't
Yeah,
be tension. It
yeah.
can't be tension.
yeah,
It is tension.
it is already tension.
It is already tension. Yeah.
Yeah. That is for the apparent person absolutely not acceptable. Because
No, it's no, it's not. I just want the sweet. Give me the sugar, baby. Just give me all the warm, cuddly stuff. Don't tell me it's tension. Don't tell
Yeah.
me it's dog shit. Don't say that. Tell me it's picking up dog shit. It can't, it's not that. It's rosy. It's at one with picking up the dog crap. You know, that and it's always these, it seems to be just the image maker of an image of what it would be like, and that I will know then, I will know that I have arrived, because it can't be this. It can't be. It can't be the hearing of it can't be this. It can't be the feeling of it can't be this. It can't be the arising whatever of no, I'm still missing something. It can't be that. How can it be that? Because that can't be known. That's fully as that then. It's fully alive as the feeling of it can't be this. That would be what is wholly contained exactly as it is. So we're so used to, getting the trophy, arriving, getting the paycheck, getting the grade, getting the things, getting fed, getting more, and then I have it. Whereas you can't have the wanting for this. There's just that. You can't have the seeking, because there can be the idea of, oh, well, I want to know then that it's just seeking. No, seeking is just exactly wholly as it appears to be. So it won't be known then. It's just what it appears to be. Yeah.
It has clearly recognized there's a screaming resistance against what is. Because whatever is. And there's quite often, more or less, it's really fighting against what is. But that's just what is.
Well, fighting what, I mean, there isn't a thing called what is.
Yeah.
They're just words that seem to kind of, in this sort of communication, it seems to be a constant return to this isiness. But the isiness is so intimately just hearing that it won't be caught. It's also trying to catch this. It's just, and then you can say just happening, or it's nothing happening. Of course, the mind takes that one. This is nothing happening. And then resistance and all that, that's all a story. But I mean, if that's what's been felt and described, resistance to what is would be what is, and there isn't a what is, and there isn't a resistance. There's not a thing that's real. But now, hold on. But if it's felt like that there is resistance, then that's what's been described and felt, okay? But there's no validation for any of that. There's no one is seen in there. Like, it's not like there's someone seen inside there that can suddenly not be there.
Yeah. It's really strange when a tension arises in the body. I said, okay, that's empty, that's not real, but you could not get out of it somehow. When there's a tension there. To say it's not real, it's just an appearance, did not really help.
No, it's absolutely pointless. It's absolutely, there's nothing to do with the intellectual meanderings, and yet it appears as intellectual meanderings of, oh, well, if I could just see that there's just what is, if I could just wholly know it, then it'll be okay. But then it would be so like, then it's kind of like saying, well, then the dog shit, I always mention the dog shit, then the dog shit would be somehow okay. It's dog shit's dog shit. It's just that. It's just what it appears to be, but also any reaction to that is just what is. So any reaction to these words or this idea of trying not to resist or do the push and pull of that, it's all a big hoo-ha story. It's all a big much ado about nothing, but just happening. Nobody is in there doing that. You can't, and that's why, you know, it is unconditional love, but it's no one's unconditional love. Just to say that there is no one in there already doing that. And this is nothing. This now. But it won't be known as that.
Yeah.
Nothing will be known. And then, nothing needs to be held on to, remembered, or known, or then imparted. Oh, I need to explain this better so Johannes gets it. Fuck's sake. There isn't a Johannes, there's nothing to explain, nothing to impart at all. It's already the case. As whatever is. And it's not, you know, they're just more, it's just words. It's just, oh.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
There seems to be feeling of pressure and tension in forehead, so that's it. Also,
Well, that's what's being described.
yeah.
Then. So if that's what's being described and felt, then that's what's being described and felt.
Yes.
Hey, Frank.
Hey.
A question arises. I hear quite often it couldn't be any different than it is at the moment. It sounds like that there's some kind of constructive element behind it. Whatever appears, get this kind of structure more or less from a forming element, whatever you like to name it. What you would say it to that idea that there's something behind
well,
it?
You can fully see where you're going with that. I mean, you can say there's just what is, and then you know, also by saying things couldn't be any other way, and how do you know that? Because well, they are how they are. But I mean, really, things couldn't be any other way because there is no one. That's just, there's no one in there already. So, but it does sort of, you see, language is so interesting when the words are held to be somewhat real and something is trying to be extracted from them. That's why then a sentence like that perhaps it shouldn't be used, not shouldn't, but I don't seem to use it more so. And it's more like just saying whether it's just what is or what's been described and felt. But that also includes wondering about things couldn't be any other way. Things couldn't be any other way than wondering about what things couldn't be any other way would be. In other words, it's this exactly how it appears to be being. Whatever is thought, felt, sensed, wondered about, imagined, dreamt, felt, sought, just happening.
Yeah, okay. Because there's not a real manifestation, more or less. Nothing gets real in a sense. There's just an appearance of
And
nothing, or
but it
however you
won't
like.
be then known as a thing apart that is an appearance of nothing.
Yeah.
They're just words. And
Yeah.
you see, even the, nothing is objectified, or the unreal, or and it's all just a kind of a play, really. It's just words. It's all just words, really. It won't get closer or further away. It's not about understanding. And by saying it's not about understanding, the mind can't but go, but then it must be something amazing. No, it's as, is as that then, that it must be something amazing. It's so intimately, however it appears to be, inescapably, whatever is thought, felt, sensed. It's this, like. So that's why, sentences like that are used, but really they do ping the mind into, like, also this idea that it's preordained.
Yeah.
But, or that there is a manifestation, or there is an appearance, or whatever. It's just, they're all just words. And it's kind of, the movement is wanting to know the unknowable, but wanting to know, the movement of wanting to know or get this won't ever be caught or held on to.
Yeah.
How can you do that or not do that? It's just what's appearing to happen, or appearing to be perhaps described and felt.
Because there's one side, there's nothing outside who could say, okay, that's this direction or this direction. So it could not be judged as just appearing. That's somehow clear. But somehow I wonder it, because things seem to go in one direction or the other direction, more or less. What brings, or when I see that on my personal level, what brings me to do some things or to not do some things? I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah, that's the wonder, is that there isn't, though, an inch that can be known.
Yeah.
There isn't, oh, well, I know this part then. I know that there is no one. No, I don't know that there's no one. Oh, he knows that there's just what's appearing to happen. I don't know that there's just what's appearing to happen. It's just a sentence that appears to be used here.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's clear that there's no separate standpoint to judge anything. There's just what's happening, more or less.
But including judgment then may appear. A judgment about this or that may appear.
Yeah.
Or what's, described as that, yeah.
Yeah, wondering, because how does anything seems to come in existence, more or less, without any constructive element behind it, more or less. So in the end, I would say, in the end, nothing could appear at all. It seems like something appearing.
And it's the story maker will at least hold on to what it's something's appearing or whatever. But not a sentence or word or inch of this is knowable.
Yeah.
Including that, like including the hearing of, not a sentence or inch of this is knowable. This is this happening, and somehow then this is a gathering where it appears like, a description and sharing about this is happening, but that's also a story then too. It's not even that. So what is it then? What is it? Well, it's definitely the hearing of what is it? It's that anyway. Beyond that, there's no response really, because where does the mystery begin and end?
Yeah. Yeah.
Unfathomable, unimaginable, and yet
Yeah.
ordinary, just this, inescapably this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Frank again. I have a
Hi,
question.
Laura again.
So this kind of communication is only apparently happening in these sorts of meetings, right? I mean, you don't say to your wife, "Oh, let a kiss before dinner happening" or something. You don't. I mean,
Well, you see, so are you asking me whether this communication, whether I would, this comes from question. In other words, there's nothing to volunteer or say. So there's question and it seems like a response. From time to time, in kind of, I was sitting beside a tennis court, whatever it was, a few weeks ago,
Yeah.
and out of the blue, somebody started asking me a few questions about whatever. But for the most part, there's no questions. And this is fully alive then just simply as response, as opposed to,
Yeah,
okay,
that's
something to volunteer, because sure, nothing's known. So it'd be like, if I'd found something, sure, Jesus, I'd be going on and on and on and on. I haven't got anything.
yeah,
So it's immediately, just,
yeah, a response
yeah.
to a question. Yeah.
It appears like response then, and it's a sort
Yeah.
of and what's going to be said, well, it's fully alive from the question as opposed to, and that's making it's not an it's, but that seems to be, if you were to talk about this, it comes from the question. And like for the recently I had a conversation with my mother and sister, and my sister was really saying, yeah, but you're giving me nothing now. This is really bullshit. I really don't like this. It was actually, it ended up being an hour and a half conversation. And it was amazing because it's just wholly unexpected. This is a good few years now and never once asked a question. Then suddenly, boom, question. And then the response. And this is total bullshit. Okay, yeah, great. Then this is total bullshit. This is amazing. All right, great. Okay, this is amazing. Right, great. Okay. You know what I mean? So it's as it's just it's totally surprising,
Yeah.
really, and could end up never being talked about again. I don't really know, but it just seems to be just something now. It was what is, let's just say, as questions and seeking and wondering, and now it seems to be what is, just responding. It's still what is, though. There's nobody ever seeking, just the seeking. Just that. You could say that's a good story there, but for the most part, yeah, there's no interest whatsoever. And okay. Sometimes there's thoughts about like my missus has not even looked at the website. I think that's fucking fascinating. Not even checked out the website.
And I think it's more fast or more like the thing is like there seems to be no offense. Like
No.
exactly, and that's the
Yeah.
point, how authentic, so to speak, it appears. Because if there would be someone, then of course there would be someone feeling pretty offended that the wife has not so far happened to look at the website. Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
but then who
yes.
knows if she said this is a load of bullshit? Would I?
Well,
know,
then
yeah, who
there would
knows? There's
Yeah.
loads of typos on your website. That's a disgrace. Well,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
you're probably right about that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
Interesting.
It's totally energetic. Nothing's being described. It's so useless. Like nothing is being described. Nothing at all. And it appears like there's loads of sentences, and in the normal scheme of things, sentences are used to explain or impart something, and yet and a point would be being made, and yet the point is almost as sentences as opposed to anything being relayed or described. And that's amazing. It is like hot air then. It's just like wind or sound, pure sound, you could say. Same, nothing really. And it's just ebbs and flows, comes out, and then.
Is it as easy to interact with people who are like open to it as to people who are not open to it? That do you get the feeling from the character somehow that there are they like as much assholes with people with open to it as with people with not open to it?
Oh, I think there is something, yeah, maybe it's just a, you know, a preference, whatever. It's definitely this openness means less games and less games, less bullshit. Yeah, that's just a kind of a sensing, really. And you know, because this has nothing to do with the words at all, it's just very energetic then. And I mean, you know, friendship and openness, it's all just a story, really. There is no friends or not friends, or everyone's a friend, but there is a sort of, you can't even describe the energy of why some friendshiping happens and others don't, or some conversations happen without telling the story. And you can venture a story as to openness is, but it's just, it's a story, you know. And
But
there isn't really, it isn't anyone's openness, you know.
But like, is there, like, you mentioned that, like, playing the games, like I'm tired of playing these games with like human interaction. So do you feel that there is like easier to, when there's like less playing games, or are you willing to play this
It's not that
psychological games?
Yeah, but nobody's willing to do anything, right? There's not
Yeah,
like there's willingness or not willingness to want to, that's just how it is or felt. And there can be a total tiredness with the social games, with the, sometimes, you know, with the interactions, with this is all just a story, but you know, say if I meet up with Kenneth, it's just pure conversation, no agendas, no gameplay, no anything. And I forget that seems to be the ways of the world, in the way of authorities, higher and lower, and sort of naivety. But it's, you know, it is all about, it seems to be in the normal scheme of things, up higher and lower, and knowledge and power and all those things. And I just, there's no, just nothing seems to come out of my mouth then for those sorts of scenarios, we'd say. But that's not true either. So it's just, we're jumping down a story there, you know. Yeah. But I think from my 20s, there's definitely a seeking of authenticity, or what, you know, when I was younger, seeking out authenticity as opposed to the games and the convictions and the knowings and the certainties. You know, I think when you're being talked at, or it's just a totally different energy.
So how do you find, like, is it easier with, like I'm teaching like children from age of 6 to 20.
You're not doing anything.
No, I'm not doing anything, but sometimes it's seemingly happening apparently that I have
teaching appears to happen.
Yeah, sometimes apparently. And there is sometimes seemingly feeling that there is maybe more openness and less social game playing, because they have not yet learned all these social structures and game playing rules.
Yeah, so I totally agree with that. Yeah.
Okay, maybe.
And it's better. And in a way, chatting with kids is great, because, you know, especially younger kids, it's just nonsense, and it's fucking great then. pure nonsense, because everything is a nonsense, really. It's all nonsense. And somehow the big people feel like they know what the world is and they can tell everybody else what it is. Whereas kids just get a stick and hammer the ground with a stick. That's the universe there. That is the answer to the universe, a kid hammering a stick. And no, it won't be known then as that. It's just hammering a stick off the ground. That's just what's happening then.
Yeah, and
But-
we can play with the gameplay. Like children see the adult gameplay and they have fun when you play. They see like adults are playing games, and we have like fun when we are playing with the gameplay.
Yeah. I mean, children play, really. And the adult, and the world becomes a world and heavy and noble and about being a certain way, about being an image of what an adult should look like, about being whatever then. But yeah, children play. And in a way, you see, saying things like openness is kind of making it then special. The children are neither open nor not open. They're just doing whatever they appear to be doing. And some, you could say, especially in kids, it's noticeable, the ones that are totally free, like just totally just being kids, just being that. But you see, there is no one though. So there's no one being an adult. That's just how it appears to be then. There's no adult, there is no kid, there's no anything.
But they are seemingly somebody pretending to be adult.
You could say it's just pretending to be adult then, pretending to be pretending to be, but nobody's doing that. How do you do that or not do that? That's
But
just what is.
That's
just
what
what
happened.
is, yeah.
What
That's
happened?
what is, yeah. All right, and then it won't be known as that though. But this there, what was said there is just happening. Just what was said there is just happening. Whatever now is thought is just happening. And you can't catch that then. You can't catch the sound of a voice. You can't hold on to an inch of anything, nor your attempt to hold on tight. And you can't let go or not let go. You're not.
I was wondering that would you talk this thing differently to me if I would have some kind of disability, like Down syndrome or something like that? How would you?
So I'm not doing anything. All there is just a response. And you're not doing anything either. There's just that question arising and boom, out. So it's impossible to say what any response would be, if anything is said, or if loads would be said. Impossible to say. This is fully alive, as however it appears to be. Fully. So then there isn't some things that can be known then. Oh, well, he's going to talk this way or that way. Sure, I don't know. I don't know what I would say. I don't know what kind of response. No idea.
So it's not reaction, but it somehow reflects the situation.
It seems to be. It's as linked utterly question, then response. And it mightn't necessarily be a direct answer to the question necessarily, but it's definitely will never hit the grade of something that's called an answer. We can say it's a response, but you know, if it was being ranked, it would fail in terms of an answer that satisfies. Its response, definitely sound, appearing backwards, coming back. It really is an alive communication. It isn't, you know, but that's making it something as well, and it's not that either. Yeah.
But like if there is like more openness to the people, then they may be like response, more openness in response. But that is also just a story, but somehow, or as what is the capability to understand language? That is it like first, second, third language in English? That what is the vocabulary? I don't get any other words.
Yeah, well, so to be clear, there's no clarity. Speaking a language doesn't make a tiny bit of difference for what is to be what is. It's just what is. And then that's why saying, oh, there's just what is, that doesn't make it any way noble as a thing apart. That's what is, you know? There isn't what is then. There isn't anything. Including, what do you mean there isn't anything? What do you mean by that? Nothing. See, you see, that's the dream, is that some parts, well, you must know then how this would be, or that would be, or whatever. No.
This is quite amazing that nothing is validated here. This is quite, I like, it is for me like somehow like in some minutes such a stunner. Like, yeah. Because I maybe subtly ask questions with a kind of slide of hope that something is like validated or not, but yeah, interesting.
Yeah, and you see, but that's, it just seems to be how it is, as opposed to, oh, you know, any kind of wanting or attempt or whatever. It's yeah, it's kind of yeah, it's amazing. Equally, I'm as amazed. It's not a having, but amazement then just seems to be, yeah, it seems to be like that.
Yeah, and
who can validate anything, you see?
Exactly. And then also, yeah, like it's like this it's also somehow like an invitation to not hide something, but I mean, like it's very yeah, just you don't need to hide anything. You can be pretty honest in a way. Yeah.
Well, you can't be anything, but
yeah.
yeah.
Of course.
It can appear, but no, sorry, that sounds like there's a technical way to say it, but it's just how it unfolds then. And however that is then, however question may be asked, not a question, you know, whatever, that would be how it appears to be being. And yeah, you see, that's why, you know, this idea of announcing absence is kind of funny, sure, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, then there's a thing called absence. Oh, that one at least is real. Well, hang my hat on absence. Or unknowing, and it's so subtle and wonderfully. It's just how it appears to be. Then doesn't matter. Nothing matters,
Yeah.
including maybe that things might matter.
Yeah. Hmm.
And you see, there isn't anything special then, you see, or not special, or
Hmm.
just they are how they are, but that can include the feeling of not wanting them to be the way they are, or whatever, or things are not quite right, or they are right, or whatever. There isn't an authority on nothing. Nothing would have to be something for there to be an authority on it. And nothing isn't a thing. This is utterly authorityless. Nobody to tuck in at night, nobody to validate anything. And that's in a way that can be perhaps utterly threatening. Who knows? It could be utterly threatening that there isn't anybody to validate anything, or finally you've arrived, oh, right, you know, or not arrived, or whatever. So it's lost at sea, except there is no sea, and there's no lost, and there's no anything. Or there's everything. Everything and nothing. And everything isn't a thing. So we'd probably break for lunch. I think might be one or two coming in the afternoon, and I think maybe might be one leaving now. Yeah, so we might break for lunch. Wonderfully, there was nothing to remember, nothing to hold on to, nothing to grasp, and you can't even take away that there's nothing to grasp. But I mean, that can be that can be what might be being grasped. So yeah, so let's break for lunch, and yeah, if you're heading off now, see you later. All right, that okay? That work with everyone? 2 o'clock?